160. Nanjiyun's plea for reinforcements. In Suiyang, modern Shanqiu, Hunan, the governor Su Yuan held a higher official rank than Zhang Sun. However, recognizing Zhang Sun's brilliance in military strategy, Su Yuan willingly let Zhang command the city's defenses. The rebel general Yin Ziki led 130,000 troops to attack Suiyang. In contrast, Zhang Sun and Su Yuan had only around 6,000 soldiers. Despite being vastly outnumbered, Zhang Sun led a fierce defense. Over 16 days of brutal combat, the Tang forces captured over 60 enemy officers and killed more than 20,000 rebels. Yin Ziki was forced to retreat. A second siege begins. 2 months later, Yin Ziki returned with fresh reinforcements, surrounding Suiyang again. Despite securing several victories, Zhang Sun's forces were dwindling. The rebels kept returning in greater numbers, tightening the siege. Zhang Sun's midnight ruse. One night, Zhang Sun ordered his troops to beat their war drums and form battle formations inside the city. Hearing the deafening drums, the rebels rushed to their positions, preparing for an attack. However, when dawn broke, the Tang army had not moved. Suspicious, Yin Ziki sent scouts to observe the city. From high ground, they saw nothing unusual. The city was eerily silent. Assuming the Tang army had tricked them, the rebel soldiers relaxed, removing their armor and falling asleep from exhaustion. At that very moment, Zhang Sun, Lei Wanchun, and Nan Jiyun, each leading 50 cavalrymen, burst out from different gates, launching a sudden raid on the rebel camp. The unprepared rebels panicked, and the Tang forces killed 5,000 men before returning to the city. Zhang Sun's strategy to wound Yin Ziki. Zhang Sun knew killing Yin Ziki would cripple the rebel army. However, the enemy commander was cautious. He always rode with several officers wearing identical armor to disguise himself. To lure Yin Ziki out, Zhang Sun devised a trick. During a skirmish, Zhang Sun ordered a soldier to shoot a weak arrow made of wild grass into the enemy ranks. A rebel soldier picked up the arrow and, thinking the Tang army had run out of real arrows, excitedly brought it to Yin Ziki. Just as Yin Ziki held the arrow in his hands, Zhang Sun, watching from the city walls, gave the order. The expert archer Nan Jiyun took aim and fired a single shot. His arrow struck Yin Ziki directly in the left eye. Yin Ziki fell off his horse, screaming in agony. With their commander down, the rebel forces fell into confusion, and Zhang Sun led another charge, securing a major victory. A city under siege, no food, no reinforcements. Despite losing an eye, Yin Ziki refused to retreat. He returned with an even larger army, completely encircling Suiyang. The enemy forces kept growing. The Tang defenders kept shrinking. The city ran out of food. The ration per soldier was reduced to 1/10 of a liter of rice per day. Soldiers resorted to boiling tree bark, tea leaves, and paper to survive. Eventually, even tree bark was gone. Men began collapsing from starvation. Realizing that the city would soon fall, Zhang Sun ordered Nan Jiyun to break through enemy lines and seek reinforcements. Nan Jiyun's desperate plea. Nan Jiyun took 30 cavalrymen and charged through the blockade, riding towards Linhuai, modern Shui, Jiangsu, where General Helan Jingming commanded a Tang army. However, Helan Jingming was too afraid of the rebels and refused to send help. Instead, he hosted a grand banquet, trying to persuade Nan Jiyun to stay as his subordinate. Nan Jiyun, burning with urgency, refused to eat. With tears in his eyes, he shouted, "The soldiers and people of Suiyang have not eaten rice in over a month. How can I sit here and drink wine? Even if I eat, how could I swallow? You have thousands of troops at your command. If you let Suiyang fall, do you think that is what a loyal and righteous general should do?" In a final act of desperation and rage, Nan Jiyun bit off his own finger, letting blood drip down his mouth, and declared, "If I fail in my mission, let this severed finger bear witness to my shame." The banquet hall fell silent. Several officers covered their faces, some weeping in shame. But still, Helan Jinming refused to send reinforcements. Nan Jiyun returns with help, but too late. Nan Jiyun left Lin Huai empty-handed but managed to gather 3,000 troops elsewhere. However, as they approached Suiyang, the rebels spotted them and surrounded them. Nan Jiyun and his men fought desperately to break through. Hearing the sounds of battle, Zhang Sun realized Nan Jiyun had returned. He immediately led his forces out of the city, pushing the rebels back just enough to pull Nan Jiyun and his surviving troops inside. The reinforcement was only 1,000 men, not nearly enough to turn the tide. When the soldiers heard that no more help was coming, they wept bitterly. The final stand of Suiyang. Despite no food, no reinforcements, and no hope, Zhang Sun and Su Yuan refused to surrender. They boiled tree bark for food. When the bark was gone, they killed the war horses. When the horses were gone, they hunted sparrows and rats. Every single soldier and civilian in Suiyang, inspired by Zhang Sun's unyielding spirit, chose to fight to the end. The fall of Suiyang. By the end, only 400 defenders remained. Yin Ziki launched one final assault. The last Tang warriors were too weak to pull their bowstrings. The rebels climbed over the walls using siege ladders. Suiyang, after months of heroic resistance, finally fell. Zhang Sun, Su Yuan, Lei Wanchun, Nan Jiyun, and 36 officers were captured. The rebels tied them up and demanded they surrender. With a sword held to his neck, Zhang Sun laughed and cursed the rebels. When they turned to Nan Jiyun, he remained silent. Zhang Sun shouted, "Nan Ba!" Jiyun was the 8th son in his family. A true man can die, but he must never surrender to traitors. Nan Jiyun smiled and replied, "Rest assured, Zhang Gong. I was just thinking of how to take a few of them down with me." Seeing that none of them would surrender, the rebels executed them all. The aftermath, a hollow victory for the rebels. 7 days after Suiyang fell, Tang General Zhang Gao arrived with reinforcements, defeating the rebels too late. Days later, Guizi's main army recaptured Luoyang. Although Suiyang was lost, Zhang Sun and his men saved the entire Jianghuai region from being ravaged. Their sacrifice inspired the Tang resistance, proving that even in the darkest times, loyalty and courage would never die. 161. Li Bai returns to the mountains. When Emperor Suzong of Tang first ascended the throne in Lingwu, he had fewer than 30 civil and military officials around him. The hastily established court was in complete disarray, and many military generals refused to follow orders. To quell the rebellion, Emperor Suzong desperately needed a capable strategist to assist him. At this time, he recalled his old friend from his days as the Crown Prince, Li Bai, pronounced Bi. He immediately sent messengers to bring Li Bai from Yingyang, present-day Hunan province, to Lingwu. Li Bai was originally from Chang'an and had been an exceptionally intelligent child, reading extensively from a young age. The then Prime Minister Zhang Jiuling, after reading his poetry and essays, held him in high regard and praised him as a prodigy. By the time Emperor Suzong was still a prince, Li Bai had already grown up and had submitted a memorial to Emperor Xuanzong of Tang, offering opinions on state affairs. Emperor Xuanzong, impressed by his insights, summoned him and intended to appoint him as an official. However, Li Bai declined, citing his youth and reluctance to serve in government. Instead, Emperor Xuanzong suggested that he befriend the Crown Prince. From then on, Li Bai frequently visited the Eastern Palace, and the Crown Prince grew fond of him, treating him as a mentor. Later, Li Bai became disillusioned with the power held by Yang Guizhong and even wrote poems satirizing him. As a result, Yang Guizhong pushed him out of Chang'an. Seeing the political turmoil, Li Bai chose to retreat from public life and settled in seclusion in Yingyang. Now, at the request of Emperor Suzong, Li Bai, recognizing the dire state of the imperial court, agreed to come to Lingwu. Emperor Suzong was overjoyed upon seeing him, treating him as a precious asset. The temporary court at the time was not overly concerned with formalities, so Emperor Suzong and Li Bai interacted just as they had in their youth. They spent all their time together, discussing matters both big and small, with Emperor Suzong readily accepting Li Bai's advice. When Emperor Suzong attempted to appoint him as prime minister, Li Bai declined, saying, "Your Majesty treats me as a confidant, which is an honor greater than holding office. Why must I bear an official title?" Seeing that he could not persuade him, Emperor Suzong relented. Even in Lingwu, Li Bai continued wearing his plain cloth robe from his days in seclusion. One day, while accompanying Emperor Suzong on horseback to inspect the troops, Li Bai's simple white robe drew attention. Soldiers whispered among themselves, saying, "The one in the yellow robe is the emperor, and the one in the white robe is the recluse from the mountains." Hearing these murmurs, Emperor Suzong found it too conspicuous and insisted that Li Bai wear a purple official robe, giving him no choice but to comply. With a laugh, Emperor Suzong remarked, "Since you are now wearing an official's robe, how can you not have a title?" He then produced an imperial decree from his sleeve, appointing Li Bai as the chief military advisor to the Grand Marshal's office. Li Bai still refused, but Emperor Suzong said, "The empire is in crisis, and I must impose upon you for now. Once the rebellion is quelled, you may regain your freedom." By this time, the famed General Guozi had also arrived in Lingwu, and the imperial court was fully engaged in directing military campaigns across the country. The war effort was demanding, with official documents arriving from all directions, leaving no time for rest. Emperor Suzong ordered that all incoming reports be reviewed by Li Bai first, and only the most urgent matters were to be presented to him. Even the palace gate keys were entrusted to both Crown Prince Li Chu and Li Bai. Overwhelmed with responsibilities, Li Bai barely had time to eat or sleep. Emperor Suzong, eager to reclaim Chang'an, asked Li Bai, "The enemy is formidable. What should we do?" Li Bai replied, "Among An Lushan's forces, only a small fraction are truly loyal to him, most were coerced into joining. In my estimation, within 2 years, we can eliminate them." He then proposed a military strategy. Instead of rushing to retake Chang'an, Guozi and Li Guanbi should lead separate offensives into Hebei, striking at the rebels' stronghold in Fanyang. This would force the rebels into a dilemma, allowing the imperial army to surround and annihilate them. The following spring, the rebel forces were thrown into chaos when An Lushan's son, An Qingxiu, assassinated his father and proclaimed himself emperor. This presented an ideal opportunity to crush the rebellion. However, Emperor Suzong, impatient to return to Chang'an, disregarded Li Bai's strategy and ordered Guozi's troops to abandon their offensive in Hedong in favor of a direct assault on Chang'an. The result was a disastrous defeat. Eventually, Guozi enlisted the help of the Uyghurs, an ancient northern ethnic group, rallying a force of 150,000 troops to retake Chang'an. Soon after, Luoyang was also recaptured, forcing An Qingxiu to flee to Hebei and compelling Shi Siming to surrender. With both Chang'an and Luoyang restored, Emperor Suzong felt immense satisfaction and summoned Li Bai back to Chang'an with great honor. However, Emperor Suzong's favorite concubine, Zhang Liandi, and the eunuch Li Fugua resented Li Bai's growing influence. They conspired against him, plotting to eliminate him. Crown Prince Li Chu caught wind of their scheme and warned Li Bai. Unperturbed, Li Bai replied, "It doesn't matter. I had an agreement with His Majesty that I would return to seclusion once the capital was restored. That time has come." Having fulfilled his duty by helping to reclaim the imperial cities, Li Bai resolved to leave the court. One night, Emperor Suzong invited Li Bai for drinks and asked him to stay overnight. Taking this opportunity, Li Bai pleaded, "I have repaid your Majesty's trust. Please allow me to return home and live as a recluse once more." Emperor Suzong sighed, "We have endured hardships together for years, and now that peace has returned, I was hoping we could enjoy prosperity together. Why must you leave?" Li Bai earnestly replied, "Our friendship began too early, and your Majesty has placed too much trust in me. Precisely because of this, I must go." Emperor Suzong hesitated, saying, "Let's discuss this tomorrow." Li Bai countered, "Tonight, I sit beside your Majesty and make this request. If you refuse me now, once I stand before the court, I will have no opportunity to speak. If you do not permit me to leave, it is as if you are sentencing me to death." Though Emperor Suzong was reluctant to part with him, he could not refuse Li Bai's persistent requests. Finally, he agreed. Li Bai retreated to Mount Hung, in present-day Hunan province, where he built a small residence and resumed his secluded lifestyle. After his departure, Emperor Suzong lost a loyal and upright minister. Consequently, the eunuchs, led by Li Fugua, amassed greater power, further entrenching their influence over the court.